Hi, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, you're gonna have my next weekly reading vlog. Now that it's summer and I have less structure, basically my days are boring. Pretty much all I usually do is read. So we'll see what I do to make these vlogs interesting. But I did want to talk a little bit about what I've done for some of the Whateverathon prompts. And one of the trickiest ones for me was the 2021 release, because most of the new releases that I've gotten from book boxes are 2022, because that's when I started getting the boxes. But in a haul that I haven't shown yet, went to Barnes & Noble and I picked up this graphic novel, which was on the Goodreads Choice Awards for graphic novels and comics, even though there's no comics. So this is a 2021 release. I was going to read this book that I hauled in Atlanta, and I probably still will this month, but I just want to get the board cleared, crossed off, so I can start over on the next board, earn more bingos and stuff. So this one is going to be a faster read for that. So I'm going to start with this one, and then I'm actually going to read, it's called A Novel Approach. It's the one that's academic. I'm going to count it for books about books as well as academia theme, because it's about teaching using novels. I don't know what I'll do for the next board for the academia theme, because I don't have a lot of those. Maybe I'll break out Legendborn, who knows. But for the other stuff, I've got other books here that I hope to cross off the list. So that's my goal. I want to get through all of the books that I have down here, so I can get to more arcs and get those crossed off, so that July can be my SEASL month. So it's still Monday, forgot what day it was. I finished my run and my ride, and I have some mail. Two of the things are book related. One of them, I have no idea what it is or who it's from. So we shall see. I thought at first, like, is this actually for me or not? So let me grab my scissors. I'm really confused because it's coming from Washington State, and I don't know anyone in Washington. So let's see what this is. Oh, okay. Now I remember. Okay, so I participated in this online running virtual team thing, and some of my team members, we decided to go on and like circumnavigate the moon, hypothetically, and we were supposed to meet up when I was in Ottawa, because several people were Canadian, well, still are Canadian, and they were running the race as well. I didn't get to meet up with them, and so we got moon cookies. So that explains a lot. Okay, I was so confused as to what that was. The next ones, I know for sure what they are, and I'm really excited about them. So I got a book, and you may have seen it in a previous vlog, but it's one of those Facebook ad things that gets you. And I saw another one, it was the same phrase, but I decided to get it, instead of on a t-shirt, to get it on a bag. So it's Drink Coffee, Read Books, Dismantle Systems of Oppression. Pretty excited. And it looks, okay, so it looks really good on black, and I will definitely find lots of uses for this bag. And then the last one is a pre-order that I did a while back and forgot that I had done. It's from Book Depository. They're in Amazon. They're owned by Amazon. I wouldn't have ordered it there if I'd known, but pull tab. Let's try it going the right way. Let's try that pull tab again. Much more satisfying. And it is, oh, I'm so excited. Wow, it's not, the sticker's not even printed on, but it is the 25th anniversary edition of Harry Potter. And since it's British, it's Philosopher's Stone. So excited about that. Oh, okay. I do like that. I didn't realize that it was actually printed on the hardcover. I like that a lot. Okay, so there is a little bit different on here. So on the back here, it says celebrating 25 years of magic. I thought the only different thing that they were doing about this edition was adding this removable, it's not even printed on, removable 25th anniversary edition sticker. But they have put some more things in there. Oh. It looks a little bent, but that's okay. I have one of my first anniversary editions, so I'm excited about that. And now I'm going to finish my book so that I can complete my Whateverathon bingo board. Ever learn to put the sound back on. I recorded some of that library B-roll without changing the sound recording, and then I realized, oh, there's like people talking or whatever, so I turned the sound off and then I forgot, and I filmed this whole update at my mom and stepdad's, which you're not gonna see because there's no sound, where I went over my library haul. But in that B-roll, you see a lot of the books that I'm picking up, and I'll just summarize and say they are for the SEAS reading list, excuse me. And I'm going to go ahead and start that this month because I'm also doing the India Chords readathon. Pretty sure that all of the books on the SEASL list are traditional Big Five publishers. Maybe one will sneak in there and surprise me. I doubt it though. So I want to get some of those out of the way so that I can get to more indie books in July as well. So the other thing that I wanted to update about, so I'm trying to remember, I updated on my reading yesterday as well. I'll just briefly talk about what I read yesterday. I read all of the March graphic novels by John Lewis, and those are graphic novels that tell his story of his experiences during the civil rights era. And they're phenomenal. Really well done, that each one gets successively longer, which I love because I love this story and you want more and more each of the volumes that you read. So that's really well done, but I'll give more thoughts on that in my wrap up because I did read it all in one day. And then I talked about the fact that I am reading Fool's Fate. I think it was Monday night when something happened in the book that just, gets you emotionally, and you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming. But still, with how well Robin Hobb has built up these characters, it's just phenomenal. You know and you love these very human, flawed characters. I haven't quite finished it, but I think that Fool's Fate might be my favorite so far. It's absolutely phenomenal. And then something else just happened in what a lot of people would consider a really long denouement to the book that just, it's even more. It's like there's something that happened in Assassin's Quest that a lot of people thought was sort of a cheating way for Fitz to deal with his trauma. And I remember it being talked about in a live show on the Elderling Along that Back in the Books and several other content creators are doing. And I can't wait to get to watch the video where they discuss this part in Fool's Fate, because what he did in Assassin's Quest is reversed in a way, but in a way that helps him learn how what he did in Assassin's Quest was wrong and hindered his recovery and his dealing with the trauma. So, love that. So good. And the way it was done, absolutely amazing. If one thing comes out of me discovering BookTube and falling down the BookTube hole, and that is finding Robin Hobb and her books, that's all I need. But I found so many amazing books because of that. So that's a little bit of an update on what I've been reading. So speaking of Robin Hobb, what I've been reading physically is The Willful Princess and the Piebald Prince. That was one of the reasons that I went to the library, because that was the last day of the hold and they were going to get rid of the hold. Because you have 5 days or whatever. And I probably would have finished it this morning because it's short, except for the fact that I accidentally left my reading glasses here at my house. And my mom has reading glasses, but I have prescription reading glasses, so they help a little bit more. But that's probably the reason I didn't finish. When I finish this update, I'm gonna go finish that novella, and I see how important it is to the overall story to have this, to know what's going on here as well. It's not like your enjoyment of the series is gonna be, you can't possibly enjoy the series if you don't read this novella, because I'm almost done with the Tawny Man trilogy by the time I got this novella. And I still, obviously, love the series, but there's just an enhancement to it that you get with the novella. And it's really cool though, because this is the first Robin Hobb book that I've read physically, which is a very different reading experience. So I'm gonna end this here. I'm gonna transfer videos to the clips that I filmed from my camera to my phone / computer, and I'm gonna keep on reading. Okay, so I'm a little bit frustrated because I know for a fact that I turned the volume, the sound recording, back on after turning it off for B-roll, but I just went to edit a clip that I made after the other update, something that I'd forgotten about, and then the clip that I'd made for today, because I didn't update it all yesterday. It's Friday, by the way, and there was no sound, and the sound recording was off. A little bit frustrated with that because that was a lot of time that I spent recording, transferring, uploading. Okay, so where to begin? So first off, the other thing that I updated about, what was it, Wednesday, that didn't have the sound in it somehow, was this, what I thought was an ARC, but it's not actually an ARC, it's a finished copy, because I checked on the release date, because okay, so a little bit of background on this. This is something that I won through Bookish First, which is a site where you can get a first look at a book, you write a first impression, and then you're entered into a giveaway, and you can win from the giveaway. And if you win from the giveaway, if you put your review up on Goodreads by release date, then you get extra points, and you get points for all of this, and you can use the points to redeem for books that you don't win. And I thought that this was a new book and that this was an ARC, but it's actually not. Because I checked the release date and it said it had already been released. I'm like, wait, what? The release date that I have on the sticky note here, that's for the paperback. It's coming out in paperback then. So that just felt a little weird, but I'm still going to do it. Still going to try to earn the points. I am a little bit more disappointed though, because I don't know how well it'll come across on camera, but you can see that dent there, massive dent. Really poor packaging. But this Trisha Levenseller is an author that I read for the first time last year and gave a ½ star to that book. So why am I reading another one? I want to give her another chance, and this was the perfect opportunity. One of the things that I talked about in that update that the sound didn't record, even though I thought it was the fact that during the summer, my days are really boring. I do a lot of reading. I finish a lot of books. It's just not really feasible for me to come on multiple times and give updates as I'm reading, because by the time I come on to update again, I've already finished the book. And so the vlog turns into more of a wrap up. And since I don't want to have both a vlog and a wrap up, I've been thinking about what I'll do instead. And what I have decided, and the lighting is not great. So what I have decided is I am going to, because I also wanted to do my SEASL project, and I guess I'll call it a project. and read through all of those books for the next 4 weeks after this vlog, to do 4 parts to my SEASL project, and 10 books each, because there's 40 total on the 2 lists that I read. But it's not like I'm reading 40 books in that time frame, because I've already read several of them. But each video is I'm gonna talk about about 10 books. But I'll have those go up instead of the vlogs, and I'll tell more about how I'm gonna structure that project in those videos. And the other books that I read that are not for the SEASL project, I'm just gonna include in my wrap up. So that's how I'll do that. Because when I finished, since the last time I updated, I started and finished 2 books. Like I hadn't even given any thoughts on. And those 2 books, the first of those is Blood Scion. And this is one of the most gorgeous books I have ever received. So I was so excited to read it. And I've heard about it. Not that it's a gorgeous book inside, but look at that hardcover. That's the naked hardcover. Anyway, so this book deals with really difficult topics, and a lot of people with the same complexion as me were giving it really negative reviews because it had those topics in it. And because of that, that was one of the big reasons that I wanted to read this. But I'm going to go more into those details in the wrap up. See, that's why the vlog is difficult, because I want to talk about that in the wrap up. This, I gave it ultimately 4 stars, but I have some complicated feelings about it. I think I am not the kind of reader that enjoys having super tense things the whole time. I'm like, I need a little bit of a letdown, so I'm not always on edge, which is like, I know thrillers are not for me. But also, unfortunately, at the end, I think the way that Deborah Fillet handled the ending really fell flat. There was twist after twist after twist, and they were twist upon twists where it twisted and you thought something was the same, thought something was different, but then it turned out to be back to what you thought, sort of. With the ending in the last chapter or so, it was so confusing. And to me, that did the book a disservice. I've already talked more about it here than I wanted to, but more thoughts on that will be in my wrap up. And then the other book that I just finished about an hour or so ago now was the first book in the Nevermore series, The Trials of Morgan Crow. I loved it. So I picked it up. It was not on my original to-do list, TBR, but I picked it up because it's a host fave. Plus, I needed something for last letter, first letter. Those are both prompts for Whateverathon. And the last thing I read was Blood Scion, ends in an N. And so I read that one on ebook, which is why I'm not holding it up. But I loved it. And I think probably the lowest it could get for me is 4.5, but I'm pretty sure it's going to get a 5 for me, because I can't think of any flaws in it. And I want that book. Like right now, I want a physical copy of it, and I want the whole series, because I've heard a lot of people rave about it. So now I'm going to go upload this clip, edit it, and the rest of the vlog is probably going to be tomorrow's next gym in at Pokethon. And I have an ambitious TBR for that. So I'll talk more about that in tomorrow's clip, because I'm just frustrated right now about the lack of sound in those other clips. But that's pretty much going to close out vlogs for like the next month or so. And then I'll probably get back to reading vlogs. Okay, so I'm filming this update for my car. Thank you, Captain Obvious. I have started this round of Pokethon, and I was going to update before I started reading the books, but I didn't feel like updating first thing in the morning. So I have already read, okay, the books that I am reading, I have 4 books on my TBR for today. I don't know if I'm gonna get to all of them. One of the ways that I'm going to get to them is I am listening to On the Come Up by Angie Thomas on audiobook, found that through Hoopla. And then I am reading The Dragon's Promise on ebook. And those both will count for 2 different Pokemons, because you can double up as long as they're in the same evolution. And then I have Starsight for 2 more, and the one that I'm probably not gonna get to, but the reason that I'm here at the library is Alloy of Law. But this, for a Brandon Sanderson book, it's not that big, so I'm hoping to get to that, and that's the first Brandon Sanderson that I've gotten from the library. So I'll get my own copy, I just don't have it yet. So that's my plan for today. I have several other books that are gonna be for SEASL, but I am halfway through The Dragon's Promise and really loving it. It's really enjoyable. I'll try to get some more coherent thoughts later, but I'm also about 60% of the way through On the Come Up. Angie Thomas is making some really profound statements. This is a lot more moving than Concrete Rose and a lot more high stakes. But the thing that really bothers me, and I know that the kids talk like this because my students because I tell them that I'm not going to get them in trouble if they swear. I'm not going to write them up for it. That's ridiculous. But there's just so much throughout this book, and just for me, it takes away. And I don't know. I'm not a prude or anything. Like, I don't mind that that's there, and I know that that's how they talk. It just feels excessive to me. And I don't know, maybe that's the way most people talk. So that's a negative for me, but Angie Thomas is making a lot of really good, really powerful points in this. So hopefully she's able to bring it home. And now I'm super hungry because I ran 9 miles this morning. So I'm gonna go get some Chick-fil-A, and then I'm gonna go to the grocery store and continue reading. So I literally just like 2 minutes ago finished my ARC copy of The Dragon's Promise, which is the sequel and the conclusion to the Six Crimson Cranes duology. And I read Six Crimson Cranes last year because it was one of the Goodreads Choice Award books, and I just loved it. I thought it was adorable. I think I rated it 4 stars. I don't know why it's so low for me. I mean, 4 stars is a really good rating. But I just finished Dragon's Promise, and oh, I love it so much. I love it. Love it. The way that the plot has these waves, it's like you got this issue, deal with it, a little bit of recovery time, another issue, little bit of recovery time, and then you get all the way to the top, and you can't even see my hand. Excellent plot work there. And the way it ended, I went on immediately and pre-ordered it. Well done. I also finished On the Come Up. Didn't love it as much. I thought it did an okay job, but in comparison, I mean, Dragon's Promise is way higher than On the Come Up, but I enjoyed both of them. Dragon Promise, way more. It's probably one of my favorites. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's so good. So good. So now I'm going to try to read Starsight. I don't think that I will be able to finish it in the readathon time frame, but I'm going to try. So I didn't end up coming back and updating the vlog multiple times throughout the readathon as I thought I might. I ended up spending pretty much the rest of the day reading. The other books that I read, I do have a physical copy of On the Come Up, which I listened to as an audiobook. I'm kind of glad that I read it as an audiobook. I think I got more out of it that way, but at the same time, the constant language still kind of bothered me, and it left off kind of like things were resolved, but not as resolved as would have been nice. So, I mean, it is what it is. This is a good, decent book. I'm glad I own it. Talks about a lot of stuff that makes you think. So, and then at the end of the night, I was reading Starsight, and I was calculating what I needed to get in to try to finish it. And I was like, I'm gonna go cross stitch. I want to still be working on that project because I really want to finish that project, which is going to still take months. But I don't have the audiobook, so I read about 150, 200 pages physically, and then I got the audiobook, which is an Audible exclusive, which I don't understand. It must be a publisher thing, not a Sanderson thing, because Sanderson has talked before about how he hates the monopoly that Amazon has on things. But it being an Audible exclusive means you can't even get this from the library. Like you can't even, like libraries can't get audio copies of this. Like how is that equitable? I'm getting off my soapbox. But anyway, I got the audio copy, listened to it for like almost 3 hours, not quite 3 hours, like 2 3/4. And then I'm like calculating how much time is left, and I don't want to speed it up anymore because I want to actually be able to listen to it. And so I ended up stopping cross-stitching and stopping the audiobook and returning and reading the last 50 pages physically, because my reading speed is probably equivalent to an audiobook on like 3.5, 4 times speed, just slightly above the fastest that I've ever gone with an audiobook. I finished this right at 11 p.m., which is a little bit beyond my bedtime, but I extended that so I could finish the book. And a lot of people have been talking about how they didn't like this because it takes Spensa away from the found family that she discovered on detritus, and it does. But the thing is, it expands the world like Sanderson's books tend to do, and you meet so many awesome characters. So many characters that challenge Spensa's way of thinking, and she's still very foolhardy and stubborn, but meeting these other characters and having to do what she has to do in this book, it provides a really good catalyst for her character growth. So I enjoyed it. I gave Skyward 5 stars. I gave this one 4.5 stars. And that might just be because of the rush that I read it in, but I still really enjoyed it. And I probably not this month, probably in July, will pick up the Skyward Flight, the bind up of the novellas, and Cytonic. And you read 2 of the novellas and then Cytonic and then another novella, which makes it so they'll have to wait for the other book. I don't know how many are going to be in this series, but I'll have to wait. So I didn't end up getting to Alloy of Law, and I knew it was going to be a stretch for me to get to that with those 3 really big books. I mean, just look at the size of these, and The Dragon's Promise is probably about the size. So the fact that I read 3 of them in one day, I'm giving myself props for that. That means that this week, if I remember correctly, I read 3 graphic novels, 1 novella, 1 nonfiction, 3 physical copy YA books, contemporary, sci-fi, fantasy, broad genres there, 3 ebooks, not ebooks, audiobooks, plus The Dragon's Promise. So I read a lot this week. Yeah, I had a really successful reading week, and I'm excited about what's coming next because there's just so many good books, and like so many over here that I need to do a book haul on, but I'm waiting until after my birthday because I know I'm gonna get books for that. Maybe I should just go ahead and do a book haul, who knows. But thanks so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.